Yes, here we continue, and I hope that was so very clear in changing the font size. So here, sometimes let's say I just want to change the font size to be 13, but 13 is not in the interface that I'm seeing. Like we don't see here 13, nor do we see 19. Let's say I want to change to 19, but I don't see 19. What do I do now? So it is so simple. All you have to do is to just hit on the 19. That is by writing it manually. Then it will have to automatically change it. So now all you have to do to change this to 19, since 19 is not part of the layout that are given by default. If I want to change this to 19, all you have to do is to just hit and drag everything, that is to highlight the entire sentence. Now go to where we have the font size group, then you just have to delete the 18, then type 19 manually. So once you type 19 manually, hit on the enter key, then it will have to change it to 19, and you will see through that by default we have there 19. So this is what we do when it comes to changing or adding some font style that are asked by our instructor, but it is not inbuilt in the default layout. So that is so very clear. Now the other thing is, since we've seen how we do change the font style, how we do change also the font size. Now it is important also for us to know also how we are we gonna change the font size by using any other method other than just writing it or going to the font size let's say option, then happen to just do it, let's say manually, by choosing any of the font size of my choice or depending on the requirement of the job. So what we're going to do is, sometimes we might just want to use some other shortcuts. For example, I want to change the font size of this, but I don't want just to use the command for changing the font size. Now we have another options here. So this option is there for us to increase the font size. You can either apply the shortcut Control plus Shift plus the that is the left arrow, sorry, the right arrow key, and that will have to also change the font size for you. That is, you just have to hit on Control plus Shift plus the left arrow key, and that will have to change the font size for you. But normally the Control Shift plus the left arrow key will do something like you let's say you selecting let's say wordings by default. That is most of the time used for that, you understand. But now if I want to change the font, if I want to change now the font size without just using the that is the font size options are there. So what you might want to do is now to use the increase font size. So now once what look what will happen here whenever I click on it. So you see through that it will have to automatically increase it by size, you understand, depending on the size that are inbuilt inside there. So now if I want to reduce it, all you have to do is to just decrease, just select the word decrease here. That is the capital A is for capital A with that we are having up here, that is the up arrow key, is for increasing, and the small a is for decreasing. So once I do this, now it will have to decrease it to whatsoever size I want. So that is so much of us for us to do. So let's just increase it. Alright, let's increase it to 16. Now we're good to go. So this is another way of increasing the font size other than just applying that other method out there. So now the next thing is, how do I change a text to how do I change the case of the text? Now case of the text here we are referring to either you want to change it to uppercase, or you want to change it to lowercase, or toggle case, or whatever case that is being defined. So here if I highlight everything, let's say I want to change the case, what are you going to do is to just choose this option. That is why we have capital A and small a. So there's a drop down button, and it is this drop down button that will have to give you a series of let's say options. So when you click on it, you will see a series of options. For example, you want to change this to sentence case. Okay, what we mean by sentence case is, for each of the first letter in each of the sentence will be capitalized. That is what we mean by sentence case. So lowercase means I will have to use small letters to maybe throughout the entire sentence. So when you choose uppercase, you are saying you want to choose capital letters throughout, and capitalize each word by just the name it is said. For each of the words that are inside the text needs to be capitalized. Now toggle case will have to do something different. That it will have to capitalize each word. Sorry, it will have to put each word to small letter. That is, each starting of a particular word to be small. But now the entire the ending of everything now becomes what capitalized. Like for example, if I choose the lowercase, you see there is a now everything will change to lowercase. Let's say I want it to be uppercase. When I choose an uppercase, now everything will be uppercase. That is being capitalized. So when I choose the capitalize each word, what do you realize? For each of the words here inside the text, it is being capitalized. So when I choose the toggle case, this is what we are trying to say. So for each word, for each starting of a particular word will be small letter, but the ending of that particular word now becomes capitalized. So this is what we refer to the toggle case here. And like it is just kind of weird, so you will always not want to use the toggle case, but depending on what the teacher wants you to do, so you have to follow that instruction to the with regards to allocating marks and other stuff. So here I just want maybe to change it to uppercase. Then here we go, let's change that to uppercase. Now the next thing is how do I put my text to be bold. Now if you bold in a particular text, what you're trying to do is like to let the text to be much more thicker than it is. There are some fonts, they are bold by default. Now you putting them to bold will not have any effect. Text like Algerian, for example. Now if suppose I highlighted this entire text and now change this font style to, let's say, Algerian, and now I hit on the bold, it will still do something. But now let's say I want it to be let's say Arial black, and I hit on the bold. Look at what will happen. It will not do anything with regards to the bold, because Arial black by default is what? Bold. Arial black by default is bold. So you still putting it to bold will not have any effect. But now there are some fonts, like I said, they are just bold by default, and that is the Arial black. And there are many other shades. We have the copper black, we have the it is bold. So something that is already in bold, if you want to put it in bold, it will not do anything. Let's say now you're dividing 1 divided by 1. 1 divided by 1, if you have 1, we say all whole numbers by default are divided by 1. So you having 1 and still wanting to divide it by 1 will not have anything to do with that. So that is just a small thing that we have to just understand. When a font is already by default bold, you putting it to bold will not have any effect. So to change this to bold, all you have to do is to highlight everything. Just select the B option we are having here. Either you choose the B option, or maybe you just want to use, let's say, the shortcut. And the shortcut for creating something to be bold, or formatting some text to be bold, will be Control B. So when I hit on my keyboard Control B, it will remove the bold. If I hit on Control B, it will also give me back the bold. So this is where we do change the font text to be bold. Now how do I also change the font that is the text to be italic? Now when you talk of italic, it's just to take those wordings to be kind of slant, you understand. So here what we're going to do is, with this I here we see, it is where we do have the chance to italicize our own text, or let's say message, or whatsoever we are sending. So when I hit on the I tag here, it will have to slant it a bit. So this is what we mean by, and this is what we do see in emphasizing some text when it comes to the HTML. And this is basically what we do in let's say italicizing some other text. So once you do this, now you're kind of italicizing it, and maybe you just want to want it to be visible by all users. So maybe you just want to change the nature of it by default, so then you choose the italicize. And the shortcut for doing this italic is Control I. Yeah, that is the shortcut. You just have to take your keyboard and Control I to remove, and Control I to just return it back. Now sometimes at any point in time, sometimes you might wanna underline some particular element depending on maybe what you want to do. So if you want to underline any other text, all you have to do also is just to highlight that thing and go to where we have this U here, where it is underlined. Now there are many series options of this underline. If I just click on this, it will just give me one stroke of the underline. But once I click on the drop down button, I will see series of options for underline. Let's say you want it to be double underline, you want it to be a tick underline, you want it to be just maybe a dotted underline, you want it to be maybe some kind of dash underline, and zigzag and stuff like that. That is the wave line we do see. So sometimes also you might in fact want to format it and give your own color for the underline. These are all possible, but don't worry about all this. Just understand that this is what we do in just putting underline or underlining a particular text or a particular element of the text. So this is what we do. That is just to highlight and underline everything. So I hope that is more like understandable.